I am so disappointed. It is unbelievable. If you're not aware, Genshin Impact just released the Stygian Onslaught endgame content, and I really need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm going kind of insane. So in Genshin Impact, we've had multiple types of endgame over the past few years. We've had the Spiral Abyss, which is basically just fighting against hyperinflated HP overworld enemies in a timer. We've had Imaginarium Theater, which makes sure that you have a lot of characters built and then puts you in situations where you have to fight against hyperinflated HP enemies against a timer, but with some cool little buffs here and there. Now we have Stygian Onslaught, which I really expected to be something a little bit different. Obviously, I expected a timer. I expected it to be a longer timer, and I expected the enemies to have like super fun mechanics and stuff and different things, kind of like the cubes in that one event where they did so many different movesets and stuff. And instead, what we got is basically Spiral Abyss with only bosses and a absolute boatload of HP and a really short timer. Now, I'm going to show you a few clips of me playing this for the first time from the easier difficulties. I started off at hard difficulty, so this is what hard difficulty looks like. This is piss easy. All right, let's see.
Bring it. Fulfill our pact.
All right, let's just get through this hard mode and then we'll check out the actual difficult stuff, I guess. Let me take a look.
Target acquired. For the Lord of the Night.
Alrighty then.
Suffer the wrath of Eve. Manifest. Cryo incarnate. Merciless.
All right, there we go. So far was not very fun, but that's just because it was very easy, right? Then there's the Menacing Difficulty. This should be all right. We'll see. Okay, we did it. I know I'm not going to have a ton of time on these ones, but that's kind of the point, right? I'm trying not to use the C6 characters, just try to do it in time. Bro, I really want Zhangling's fucking shit to proc. Holy fuck, did I take... Oh, maybe I took all of her artifacts off. That actually might be the case. Oh no. We're gonna have to restart this one, boys. What did I do? Oh god. Did I give him the dare? Oh, I give... Bro, this makes so much more sense, man. This makes so much more fucking sense. I gave the dare for the trial yesterday, dude. 20 seconds left. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a freaking corner. Oh well, we're good. Boom. Wait, where'd my ult go? There it is. All right, there we go. That's fine. Good damage. Very nice damage. Yeah, we should be absolutely fine here. Charge attack to get the extra rifts. Yeah, we don't really need it, but we'll do it anyway. It's fun. Boom. All right, nice. Bad artifact, and bad artifact. All right, gamers, nothing is changing. Great. Then we have Fearless, and I'll keep it a buck, dude. Fearless was like, it was already pretty damn difficult for me, and I have C6 characters. I didn't use the C6 characters that I have, just as a heads up. I tried specifically using the C0 or C2 maximum characters that I have, and this is what that went like. Wait, where'd my ult go? It went off. What? Why didn't you plunge? Is that a normal mechanic or is that new? New? Sick. Okay. Yeah, guys, Garming does not clear this. Even a good fucking Garming build, that does not clear this. Holy shit. The damage is just non-existent. Bro has far too much health. Okay, move your fucking fat ass hand, man. Your hand is fucking pissing me off. Hello? Alright, there we go. First half done. Doable, winnable. Without my C6s, though, I'm kind of screwed for the second half here because I overbuilt my C6s and not so much the other fucking characters. So let me see. Let's go. Let's see if y'all can fucking cook. Guys, I'm not even fucking entertaining this shit. What the fuck is going on? Hello? I'm not even entertaining this for more than 5 fucking seconds. This is doable, though, I think. Deadass, I think this might actually be doable. Bran, bro, I'm listening to chat, man. What the fuck do you want from me? Bro, all of y'all saying this wouldn't work. We're doing about as good as the fucking Alhaitham team, in all fairness, so I don't know about that one. I can't do the Kadich team because we used Bennett in this one as well. If we try this one again without Bennett, I probably could, but then who am I going to replace in this one? Fuck it, we can try this. Come on! Whoa! What? There was a second left! Alright, I'm ulting here. Conditional ult. On the life reset was worth it. There we go. Okay, good shit. I like what I'm feeling here. Boom. I feel better now. Let's go back and fucking lose our fucking brain cells and minds. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm good. Let's fucking get this shit done, and then I want to try the final difficulty. Give me my terrible artifacts. My terrible artifact. Sorry. Then we have the final difficulty, dire difficulty. And this is where my biggest problem comes because Hoyoverse have implemented a lot of really good changes recently, in my opinion. But this endgame mode is genuinely just disappointing to see, at least in my opinion. Now, listen, there's people that have cleared this dire difficulty, or at least one person, a Japanese player, with C0 or 1 characters. But their builds are absolutely insane, godlike. Like, I'm talking perfect artifacts. And they cleared it with like 1 second to spare on each one. For like 99.9% of free-to-play or even low spenders, this difficulty is almost unattainable. Even for whales, dude. Like, I went into this and I would have been perfectly fine if these bosses had a lot of really cool gimmicks and mechanics that you could do with the elemental reactions and stuff, but instead what we get is a restrictive buff/debuff, but it's not for cool things like mechanics. I had a chat with Komemos where I went over what mechanics and stuff I'd want to see, just a couple of examples, so here's the clip from that. Hello, hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fucking stressed, bro.
Yeah, I know.
What did you mean by you think Genshin's got a limit because of the gameplay? Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so like, I mean, of course, I have to take some examples like Withering Waves or ZZ or stuff like that. Like, there's no other option. I don't know, like, there's no parry system. There's no real, like, dodge system. The monsters are not, like, super dynamic. Maybe they could make more dynamic monsters, like, that move a little bit or that have, like, more dynamic mechanics. I don't have, like, an idea necessarily of what they could do, but I don't know. If you look at Wuwa, they have some, I mean, the parry system makes it more dynamic, but they also have some monsters where if you counterattack at the perfect moment, not necessarily a parry, but just a counterattack or a dodge at the perfect moment, it can impact like the reactions of the boss or stuff like that. So yeah, yes, they could make something like that, but on the other hand, like the characters are more or stiffer than ZZ or than Wuwa's. Like, yes, it's frustrating to just have like more HP, but at the same time, it's like a little bit difficult to find the perfect solution, I feel like.
I agree with you, and I don't think that is a perfect solution. But what I will say is, you're right with Wuwa. The thing is with Wuwa, for something like holograms, for example, I'm going to use holograms specifically since it's like the end game that I typically take part in. I don't do tower because it's just fucking Spiral Abyss for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
For holograms, it's very important to do the mechanics that you just mentioned, right? Like parrying and also dodging. And you mentioned Genshin not having a dodge system. You're right. It has the same dodge system as Wuwa, realistically, just without the perfect dodge and the counter.
Yeah.
The thing for me is, for hologram, the timer's so fucking long. I've never lost a hologram to the timer. I feel like for Genshin as well, it's like you mentioned them being kind of limited based on Genshin's gameplay. For me, it's the total fucking opposite. I think they don't utilize their own gameplay features at all for endgame combat, because literally, what do you use elemental reactions for other than dealing damage or like getting rid of a specific shield? Why is there zero mechanics in this goddamn game with such a complex elemental reaction combat system where you can't ever utilize it so it feels like you're utilizing the element system other than just dealing a shit ton of damage?
I understand what you mean. Like, we could.
Well,
use the reactions more to like actually do stuff rather than just more damage.
If you're gonna make it restrictive, why not make it fun and restrictive? Remove the timer, make it so that at every 20% health interval you get a different mechanic. If you're already forced to use, for example, a freeze team, make it so, for example, it's a boss with, I don't know, 2 big-ass legs and you gotta freeze both legs on the ground to stop it from moving at a certain point in the floor, and then that point in the floor starts doing damage over time or something. You know, something interesting.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that could be fun. Maybe a little bit like the weekly bosses, because like weekly bosses have some like interesting mechanic. I mean, interesting depends how you see it, but like they have some unique mechanics where other stuff happens and just like deal damage or break the shield.
I feel like Genshin just do not utilize their elemental reaction system for endgame in the slightest, other than, like I say, hyperinflating enemy HP to make you have to deal a shit ton more damage. It just bores the fuck out of me when I know it could be so much better than it is. But sadly, that's just not the case here. It's quite literally, again, just hyperinflated overworld enemies. Bob, you can find the actual numbers, but I think it's like 17 million HP or something, maybe even more. And the reward that you get for this incredibly difficult challenge is weapon skins. Something that when I saw were getting added to the game, I was incredibly excited. But the rewarded weapon skins that you get come from these items. There's a 4-star and a 5-star version of these weapon skins. And don't get me wrong, listen, I'll keep it a buck here. The weapon skins look absolutely incredible. They also have very cool lore inside of them. But do you know what's not incredible? The fact that they disappear every patch. You heard that right. The really difficult content that you get, the weapon skins disappear every patch. A lot of people don't have a problem with this, but for me, when Genshin Impact already has endgame rewards that are attainable in a certain way for cosmetic purposes, the envisaged echoes in the Imaginarium theater, for a big example, what do you do with that? You beat the endgame, you get a key or 2 keys. Then you get to choose which envisaged echo you want to keep on your account forever. You unlock it and do it. It's great. Why couldn't Hoyoverse for this just made it so that when you beat this mode, you get these items, but you can exchange them for whatever skin you want permanently on your account? I had people saying if they'd have done that, it would have caused FOMO. I would argue it's the exact opposite, and that making these weapons only available for 41 days and then they're gone forever is also FOMO, but it's also pointless FOMO, because why would they disappear? Why wouldn't you just be able to keep them? It feels so stupid to waste the potential of these super awesome looking skins and have them disappear. Is it because you're not spending real money on it that they feel like you don't deserve to keep them? I really don't understand. I know it's like a prestige, yeah, you beat it kind of thing, but then if you can only show that you beat it for 41 days or whatever it is, and then it's gone forever, what's the damn point? I think it's so incredibly disappointing, and I really hope they listen to some feedback about this, because I really think this game mode has a lot of potential. It just needs a couple of minor tweaks and maybe one major tweak. I want it to still be difficult, and I want it to still be challenging, but I also just want it to be fun and not boring and monotonous and not the same thing as the other endgames that we already have in the goddamn game. Give us something new to look forward to every patch. This was a big rant, and I really don't know if we're going to get any fixes or changes to this in the future. I'm not getting my hopes up anymore. I don't play gacha games for the endgame, and this is primarily the reason why. I've kind of decided now, if I want difficult content, bro, I'm just going to go play MMOs or like Elden Ring for the 3rd time or something. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, actually. We're pushing close to 354,000 subs on YouTube. Thank you. And I'll catch you all in the next one.